What do you do, baby? Welcome back to the podcast Sans Restriction with your host, Kevin Raphael. It's not English Wednesday, it's English Friday, but at the end of the day, I still look like I got a potato in my mouth. I'm trying my best to speak English. We have an amazing guest today, but before that, before all of the great thing that Chris Pronger can bring to the podcast, I just want to take some time to get something off my chest because I've been thinking about this all week. So there's a Japanese wrestler named Anna Kimura that took her life on last Friday because of bullying on social media. And you know, when I started at TVA Sport, I had so much bullying. We got to make sure that when we use our phone, we leave it better than when we started to use it. And I'm trying to say everything the right way in English and, you know, trying my best right now. But it's stupid that a 22-year-old girl is getting bullied to the point of taking her own life. And for me, as a guy that does wrestling on TV, that comments wrestling on TV, it's something, and I never talk about those stuff on this podcast, and I never want to do that because it's a fun time and everything, but it crushed me. It shook me to my core, and I just want to make sure to reiterate, to say again that let's be kind to each other. Let's be positive. Let's be nice to each other. Lift somebody else up. That's if there's one thing I want you to remember from me is I was positive. That's the only thing. I don't care about the TV shows, the podcasts, the stuff like that. Just want to remember that I was positive. And this story or this tragedy is another example that we could be better. And that's why I wanted to tell you that story in the beginning of the pod. And you know me. I'm always positive, and I started with "What do, baby?" every podcast, and I want to, you know, get the mood. Look, I want to bring some fun and everything, but I had to tell that story because for me it was important. It's the part of the people. I was talking my talk, parler ma parole, and for me it was important. Now, segue to Chris Pronger. So I'm gonna tell you that little story and then we're going to the interview. So I DM'd Chris last week, and this dude is the funniest dude on Instagram. He's giving me emojis and stuff, and he's making jokes, and I'm like, is he my friend? Are we friends now? So with one DM we're friends, and he accepted to come on the pod on a holiday, like it's a Memorial Day it was Memorial Day in the US, and he agreed to come on a pod. So man, like forever grateful I'm forever, you see, I'm catching myself and trying again. That's the way you gotta do it. I'm not an Anglophone, I'm trying my best, so I'm gonna do it. I'm forever grateful. That's it. So thank you so much, Chris, and let's go to the interview. Before that, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Sans Restriction. And let's go, baby. Let's go listen to Chris. In life, you never know. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. All you have to do is slide in the DM and something good might happen. And that good thing is two-time Olympic gold medal champion, Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Fame, one of the toughest dude in the history of the National Hockey League. And yes, I had his hockey cards, my dude, Chris Pronger. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's an honor to speak with you because when I was young, I saw you play, and I don't want to make you be older or whatever, but I was scared of you. I was like, man, that dude is mean. When you look back at your career, can you understand the way I was thinking, or?
Yeah, I think it was a little purposeful in that regard. Trying to keep the opposition on their toes and trying to be unpredictable as a as a player and as a defenseman, never knowing what I'm going to do when I'm going into the corner or you're coming down on me on a one-on-one. I might slash you. I might take the puck. I might spear you. I might do any sorts of parts in the gray area of the rule book. So I try to keep players on their toes and off guard, so to speak, as to what I may or may not be trying to do to do my job to the best of its ability for my team.
Well, before diving into your career, I just want to mention, because for me, it is the most important thing, okay? I have a question for you.
Yes.
You know everything about traveling. Now, that's what I learned about you. You know everything about traveling. So when the COVID is done, where is the first spot I should go with well-inspired travel?
Oh, wow. I think a lot of the stuff we're looking at for well-inspired travels is driving destinations, direct flights, places that people are going to feel comfortable going to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think there's going to be a huge demand for people wanting to spend 8 hours on a flight. That's just me. I mean, other people may feel different and may see that differently. But I think for us and our clients and people that we've talked to, they certainly want to stay close to home, and be able to, if something, God forbid, does go awry and there's another outbreak or something happens, they're able to get home quickly and safely, and it's not too much of a problem.
So I just want to mention the Instagram page for everybody here, because in Montreal, we don't have this thing in Montreal. We don't get well-inspired travel. So you go on well-inspired travel on Instagram. You got it's Lauren and Chris's little baby, and then you can support the Prongers in their project. So I just wanted to start with
Thank you.
Just to make sure that our people in Quebec knows. Yeah. So now I want to know. Do you feel like in your hockey career you punch like Justin Gaethje, or you could take a punch like Ferguson?
Oh man, that was quite the spectacle. Tony Ferguson, I don't know how that guy was standing up. He took some bombs. He took some bombs. Gaethje took a few, but he was hitting them hard. Yeah. And he just kept rolling with it. I'm like, broken cheek, like that's a warrior. That's somebody that is born to do what he does, because I'm sorry, that's a little too much for me.
You wouldn't do that, eh?
I don't think so. No, no, that's they're a different breed. They, it's no different than being a hockey player, being a football player, being an athlete, being, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever your given passion and business is. If you have a passion and a genuine enjoyment of it, you're not going to feel like it's work. You're not going to feel like it's, you're going to put everything you have into it. And I think you see when you see fights like that, or you see hockey players competing on a day, a nightly basis and giving it their all. And I think fans can appreciate just how hard getting to the top of the game, the way those guys did, for that particular fight. But whether you're an athlete, whether you're a top lawyer or doctor, as I said, whatever the case may be, you could be the best landscaper in your field. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It transitions to all walks.
Yeah.
Just trying to be the best at what you're passionate about. And I think that's what's special when you see, fights like that, or people that take genuine pride in what they do, whatever it is. I got a lot of respect for people that give it their all every time they're doing something, and you can see the enjoyment they get in whatever that is.
Now, you got to tell me what's worse: writing that Hall of Fame speech in 2015 or blocking an Al McInnes shot?
Oof. Well, luckily I didn't have to block many. But yeah, it was. I think as it relates to the speech, I think it was just hard because you're going to leave people out. You're going through it, trying to thank all the people that helped you get to where you are and helped you. A lot of times selflessly giving up their time and helping you become better and helping you reach and strive for your goals and whatever that was. And you're always going to forget somebody along the path and along the way, especially when it's as well traveled as mine was, where you're zipping all over North America and trying to do what you love to do. And I had a lot of tremendous coaches, great teammates, training staff and trainers. And, it's, as we all know in sports, it takes a village and it's not just one person. Everybody's got to be a part of it and invested in it. And I think when you do, the more invested you become, you generally have more success. And you could see that last year with the St. Louis Blues. I know in 2007 with Anaheim when we won, that was certainly the case, and everybody bought in and was invested, and it was everybody's going in the same direction. And so it's something that I'm very passionate about and believe wholeheartedly in having everybody within the organization, from managers to coaches, players, training staff. Everybody's got to be invested and willing to do whatever it takes to be successful.
But did you ever seen like a player in the game that you're like, well, that guy's a tough guy, and then when Al McInnes would wind that shot, that guy would just walk away?
I remember one time Joe Murphy, who we played with in St. Louis with Al and I. He went on to somewhere else, wherever he was in his next stop. I don't know if he went back to Chicago or wherever he went. And Al wound up one time to take a shot, and Joe just happened to be in the lane accidentally. And he's like, whoa, let me get out of the way. I'm just saying, oh my God, Joe, I love it. I love it. It was priceless.
So great. That's so great. Okay, so.
Don't hit me.
He hit you?
No, don't hit me. He was screaming, "Don't hit me!"
Yeah. So in 2007, you finally win that cup. Okay, so you've been in the league since '93. You're second overall pick after Deg, and then now like you're older. You're wiser. You're smarter. You're a veteran. How was the party?
Yeah, party was sick. The party was fantastic. It was, it was when you're able to fulfill a lifelong goal and dream of winning the Stanley Cup like that, and with the group of guys we had on the team, and to have my family and everybody there, and and to have lost in Game 7 the previous year with Edmonton was great to get back to the dance again and get back to the finals and ultimately finish it off right and win was spectacular, and something that it's, you don't want to be that guy that was Ray Bourque at 40. Oh, he's never won a cup, and everybody starts questioning you. You want to be able to just silence your critics and be able to say, yes, I have been a champion, I have won, and certainly you want to do it in a manner in which we did it, where it was we went through the best teams to do it.
But do you feel like it was sick, like Ovechkin party sick, or just like thank God there's no social media, or I wasn't that bad, Kev?
It was I don't think it got well. The younger guys, I think, got to that level. I didn't quite get to Ovechkin level, but it. I would say they had a good time. Yeah, I mean, I would suspect that if you were to have cameras on everybody at during those moments, that you're gonna have maybe not to that level where they're swimming in water fountains, but I would say they're having a good time. A lot of times, guys just don't want it publicized and don't want it out there.
Yeah, but like, because I remember that game vividly. 2002, that gold medal game. Then you win it like in 2010 in the redemption. Olympic. So what was sweeter, winning that first shot at the Olympics or the redemption game one?
I think you're talking about Vancouver. I think Vancouver, just because it was on home soil, just because of what was at stake, playing the U.S., the way we had played against them early in round robin and all the things that were said in the media. There was a lot of broken ankles with our team. People were off the bandwagon and etc. So I think knowing all that and knowing what was said from a lot of the American players, that once we were able to get back against them and get into the finals against them, I think we were very confident that we were going to be able, and we were getting better with each successive game as we were moving along the tournament. I think we felt very comfortable that we could beat them. Okay,
I'm putting you on the hot seat now. I'm putting the 02 team against the 2010 team. You got one game for the gold medal. Who's winning?
I'll tell you what, it would be tight. Much, I think when you look at the two teams, a little bit, the 02 team, I think, was a little bit bigger and heavier and probably a little more physical.
Yeah.
And the 2010 team maybe had a little bit more skill. But I think it would be a good battle. What? It probably, let's say this, it would go to OT.
I think it's 02. I think it's OT. Can't go against Mario. Can't go against Mario. Can't go against Mario. So I saw a thing on YouTube from 2011. It was a thing called 24/7, and you were on it. How was it to have the cameras all the time on y'all? Like, it's not in the culture of hockey to have that many cameras following the secrets of hockey. It's not like the NHL.
Yeah, no, it was, I wasn't around too much for that. That was for that was 2011, 2012 for the Winter Classic game.
Yeah.
And that was when I got hurt. So they were only around me briefly. So I wasn't around for too much of that, but I think at the end of the day, I think fans like it. I think players are getting more comfortable, obviously, with social media and all the different aspects that's created, are a little bit more comfortable now with the whole 24/7 approach and getting the behind the scenes. Some guys are already doing that with their phones anyway. So
yeah,
I think this generation of players are a little more comfortable with it.
So I know you're going to tell me McDavid, or I know you're going to tell me like Austin Matthews, but I got to ask you that question. And I want you to, go a little further than McDavid and Crosby and Ovechkin. Who do you like to watch these days? What player excites you? Like, when the game is on, you're like, I ain't missing this guy.
Who do I like watching? Well, I like watching Barkov in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
I like watching Tom Wilson.
Oh, you like that kind of guy, eh?
Well, I like the way he plays.
We don't like him in Montreal.
I know. It's very... his game is very unique in the fact that there are not many players that have his skill and skating ability coupled with his physical attributes. So, there's not many guys that can play the way he plays.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you.
Who else? Let's see here. Oh, man. I like watching the Tkachuk boys play. St. Louis guys. I like seeing them do well, but I like, they got a lot of their dad in them and they play hard and in your face, agitate. Mm-hmm. So, I like to see the guys that play hard, but go to the dirty areas and are willing to muck it up to score goals, or in some cases defend and stop them.
These days, the chirp is a lot on social media. The guys are chirping on social media, and this is as far as it goes. In your days, and you're probably on top of the list, but I gotta ask, who had the best chirp in the league?
I don't know if there was guys that were. There was lots of guys that just were relentless, yapping on the ice. You got Barnaby and Steve Ott and some of these guys.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they can be settled very quickly.
Oh yeah. Eh? Oh yeah.
Yes, they can be handled very, very quickly.
This is the moment of the pod where I tell you that you can buy a Sans Restriction mug, baby. You can buy that mug on zonekyle.ca. You can support the pod by buying the mud and the mud. Not the mud. Don't buy mud. Don't buy. Buying mud is nasty. Buy a mug with a mug. Just buy it so we don't have any left, and I stop plugging the mugs on the pod, so I can not break my mouth every time I speak in English. The mud. I said the mud. God damn. Okay, so let's go to the rapid fire, okay? So I'm asking you a quick question, and we're hitting the rapid fire thing, okay? So,
all right.
During all your years, who was the toughest, the most badass dude you've ever faced?
Ooh. Joey Kosher was not too fun to go against.
Oh yeah.
Tony Twist, Proby in his heyday. There was a lot of guys that. Craig Berube's another one. There's a number of guys where you're like, oh my God, I got to deal with this guy tonight. Just trying to run me and trying, a lot of times you're well aware of what's going on. And I used to pay attention quite a lot as to, line matchups and who's going where and all that stuff, so that you're keeping track of who's where and what's going on in the ice and all the rest of that stuff. Game management, if you will. So there's those guys. I mean, I was aware of when they were on the ice and aware of kind of what was going on, but I wasn't that involved in that side of it, if you will.
Who's the sweetest player? Like the one guy you're like, I'm not going to hit that guy in the corner. He's too sweet.
I never really found anybody like that. I mean, there's guys where, when I was playing against Mario, he's so big and powerful that you're containing him more than you're trying to outmuscle him and try to do anything in that respect, just because you got to pay attention to where he's moving the puck.
Yeah.
I remember we got smoked by them in Pittsburgh one night, 7-2 or 8-2.
Wow.
Mario had 2 and 5.
That's crazy.
I'm just like, and I'd have him and I'd close out on him, and then boom, he'd just chip it into a guy streaking by, and I'm like, but I had my guy. But they chewed us up. Just chewed us up.
But there's like I'm born in '92. So like a year before your draft year. So and
so you remember.
I know my history. But there's a debate in the newer generation, and we're asking either Mario or either Wayne, and it's probably a question that you've got a thousand a time. But if Mario was at 100% like Wayne was, do you think Mario would be that guy, would be that face, would be the legend, the number one guy in the history?
He certainly could have. When you look at his statistics, he had 1,600 points in 800 games.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, when you look at those numbers, you're like, well, just based on that, if he was to play 1,400 games or whatever Gretz played, just statistically, he would be close to the 2,800 that Gretzky had. So, unfortunately, that's the problem. One guy was injured. Gretz missed a year and a bit with a back, and you're looking at compare. And then you want to compare different eras of, okay, you're going to compare Bobby Orr to this guy and Gordie Howe to that guy. It's just extremely difficult to compare eras because of technology, because of, all the different things that play in. Let's think of Gretzky's era now to McDavid's era. You go to Gretzky's era, the hooking and the holding and all the stuff that was going on. And now you look at all the stuff going on now. It is so hard to say how someone would have done in a different era because they didn't grow up. They didn't play in that style.
Okay.
But you can look at players and you can extract data and look at, well, this guy played against, better competition, and this, you can go on and on and on, but goalies are better now versus all the different things that people want to argue. That's why they're there. We can have these debates and these arguments, but you're never going to come to a bona fide conclusion.
On this pod, we have a lot of the women's hockey player, and we love to watch them play. And often this year, since they don't have a league, they got to play Team Canada and Team USA together to promote their sport. So I always ask them, how can you play with your enemy? So I'm going to ask you the question. So how could you play in the Olympics with Joe Sakic and like all those boys after that Stanley Cup lost in, I think it was 2001?
Yes. You're representing your country. You are excited to represent your country. You've been chosen to such an elite group, of the best Canadian players of that specific time. I think we're all adults. We all get it. You play the game a certain way. When you're on a team, you're on a team, and you kind of set your differences aside, whether it's Joe telling me to stop slashing the back of his knees or whatever. And you know what? You have a respect for players' abilities and what they can do, whether it's on offense, defense, whatever the case may be. And you just focus on those 2 weeks or 3 weeks that you're together in trying to form that chemistry and bond that's going to propel you to success. And, sometimes it works and other times it doesn't. Like 2002 it worked. 2006 it didn't. 2010 it worked. 2014 it worked. It just, it's not always perfect, but you're able to kind of set your differences aside and put things on the back burner for the greater good of the team and the country. When you're wearing the leaf on your chest, you need to make sure you're representing it proudly and properly.
All right, last question of the pod. Last question of the pod. We ask that to every hockey player that comes on the pod, and the answers are pretty interesting. And again, I want to thank you for being here. It's a pure joy for me to speak with you right now. So if like for your last pickup game, it's your last one ever. I'm a genie. I'm allowing you to pick a goalie, 2 defensemen, well, a goalie, 1 defenseman, and 3 forwards. It's your last one, then you die. Okay, so you have to be happy at that game. Who do you pick?
I need to be happy. All right, so I need to pick 2 defense.
Well, 1 because you're playing.
Oh, okay, good. All right, and then 3. All right, so I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Grant Fuhr-net.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm going to go with, let me think here.
I'm so happy you went brother in net. I'm happy.
Yeah. I'll go Lidstrom. I'll play the right side. Lidstrom will play the left.
Okay.
Never got a chance to play with him. And then I will go... Mario on the right. Let's see here. No, let's do this. I'm going to go Mario at center.
Oh.
Gretzky on the left. And Gordie Howe on the right.
So you want to win your game.
Yeah. Is there any other way?
The guy's like, I ain't losing this game. It's my last one. I'm going on top.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey,
that's right.
Thank you so much for being on the pod. And I just want to remind the people, inspired travels. I know like in Montreal, we don't have something like that. So go on that Instagram account and let them know, like ask them questions. And they'll answer. Yeah. And they'll answer and also give them a follow. And you know,
at the Chris Pronger and at Well Inspired Travels.
Yeah, at the Chris Pronger, at Well Inspired Travel, and when you listen to the pod, put it in your Instagram story, tag them, and let's make Well Inspired Travels hype in Montreal, man.
There we go. Let's do it.
All right, thank you so much for giving me your time in your holiday. It's a holiday, man, and you're giving me 30 minutes like that. Thank you so much.
You know what we do.
That was pretty great, eh? You didn't think we could do it. Actually, everybody listening to this thought we could do this. We're born for this. This is the part of the people. We say something, we do it. And having Chris Pronger on the pod, yo, everybody who don't believe now. This was fun, man. This dude is cool. I want to drink milk with him. Want to go in a bar and drink milk with Chris Pronger. This guy is cool. Oh, it was so fun. Thank you so much for being here again. You guys and girls are killing it. Thanks to Bruno, partner of the pod, who helped me fix all this. Thanks to Mathieu Brutus, who's doing the music. Don't forget to buy a mug. Mug. Don't forget to buy a mug on zonekr.ca so we can support the pod. And follow us on Instagram at Sans Restriction, at Kevin Raphael 21. We make sure that we give you as much content possible, and not only as much content possible, but the best content possible. We're proud of it. We're proud to be Sans Restriction, and you know what? See you next Monday, baby.